And welcome back to another episode of Heart of the Cast. We're here with a lot of big changes to the game. Huge stuff, TCG and Master Duel.
The Yu-Gi-Oh situation is crazy.
It keeps getting crazier. The Charmy situation is crazy as well. Did you react to that video by any chance?
Which one?
My Charmy video?
I watched it, but I watched it off stream because I just watched it. I think on the day it came out. I wasn't streaming, but I thought it was good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that thing's randomly like blowing up. It's almost at like 100K now or something. People really are just debating Maxx C too.
Didn't it just like come out 2 days ago?
What came out to the video? Yeah, no, it's doing really well.
That's crazy.
I guess people are feeling the burn, I suppose, or the the real pressure of Mall Charmy, which is, I guess, maybe worse in TCG. I don't know how you feel about the format, but we're going to be talking about TCG first and foremost. And of course, we have Malice in Wonderland. It's here. it's an ultra rare. And an ultra rare here.
Yeah.
And an ultra rare there.
You know what the good news about that is? If they want to hit that deck on a banlist, they actually have to give us dust back. There's like no way to do it otherwise.
Okay, so I mean we could talk about this later, but like the sort of key piece of the deck is like White Binder, right?
Yeah, but like, I made that statement assuming that that's not how they're gonna hit it. Like they're not gonna immediately ban White Binder, you know?
Well, I sent 17,000 SR dust today, and I crafted a Royal Red Ransom White Binder and 2 Chessy Cats.
Wait, why'd you do that? Where'd you get 17,000 SR dust from?
So since the beginning of Master Duel, 3+ years ago, I haven't been dusting SRs.
Okay.
So I had a lot of SR dust.
And you felt like this was the moment, like this was the time.
Yeah, so I wanna go into I wanna like get really good at a meta deck, and I figured, you know what, this is the one.
Okay.
I did say that in TCG 2 sets ago, and the March hair is still on my desk, like unsleeved, by the way. So I figured it's one of those Pygmalion effects or whatever it's called, where the more you like spank out your deck and do the accessories all nice and stuff, you're more likely to care.
Okay.
Have you heard that theory before?
Not like this, but I guess it makes sense. Yeah. I usually would look at it the other way around. It's like the more you care, the more you're willing to like bling out your deck and stuff. But sure, I guess.
Right, exactly. So if you make your deck like high rarity, expensive sleeves, accessories, you're more likely to be better at the deck because you're investing effort because of that passion.
Okay.
So basically, if you make your cards higher rarity, you will be better at the deck. TLDR. That's the theory. So
Malice is pay to win, is what you're saying.
I mean, royal rares are pay to win if you think about it in some way, right? Looking forward to Pack's stream tonight, by the way. You won't know about this, I guess, by the time you guys hear this, but I think he's spending 100,000 gems tonight on Malice.
100,000 gems?
He's gonna show up to Worlds, and every card in his deck is gonna be royal rare.
Gee, the thing is, you say that I spent 20,000 gems on Malice, and I didn't even get the full deck.
Well, okay, but like after dismantling, right?
Yes, but I still had to craft 4 ultra rares. So like, if
20,000 gems,
if 20,000 gems gives you 0 royals, then I don't think 100,000 gives you the full deck in royal. That's not how it works.
So the average is 1%. That is the legal amount that is on the sort of disclaimer thing. You can actually check the details of percentages for legal reasons in Master Duel, what chance you have to pull an ultra or royal and stuff like that. It's 1% for a royal.
Yeah.
So 1 in 100 crafts is a royal rare.
Yeah.
I crafted Red Ransom, I think like 170 times. White Binder was like 150. The only one was like my second Chessy Cat was like 48.
Okay.
So I high rolled a little bit there.
Well, I mean, overall, it sounds like you didn't high roll at all. It sounds like you low rolled like crazy. Yeah.
It was over 100 multiple times. It was rough. I didn't even get my third Chessy Cat, which I guess is probably for the best.
See, so that 1 in 100 is 3,000 CP for 1 royal on average.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no way 100,000 gems gets you like a bunch of royal ultras.
Yeah, you need a more. How much?
You
How much is 100,000 gems in money? So it's like 65 pounds, I think, for 5,000. So
it's
100,000 divided by 5,000 is like 20 bundles multiplied by 65.
like a
I'm not.
1.3
Wait, 1.3
k.
thousand?
Yeah.
1.3k?
Yeah.
Is that it?
What do you mean? Is that it?
Well, that's not like on average. I think a royal rare costs like 1,000, doesn't it?
I have not made the math on that. You have to ask Jesse for that. But I think so.
Well,
I think I
mean,
heard.
yeah, it is. It is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I just thought like 100,000 gems would be more expensive. That's just a big number.
It is a big number, but I don't actually think in terms of royal rares that is getting you that far. Like that, I think you'd be expecting like 1 or 2 royals from that. Like targeted royals. Like, of course, when you open a bunch of packs, you can get anything in royal, but like when you are targeting a specific card, I think like that might just get you like maybe 2 if you're decently lucky.
I decided to pull the cord on it because I randomly pulled a Cryptor Royal. Just roll the Cryptor and Royal. So I was like, fuck it. I'll send my 16k dust on the SRs.
I mean, to be fair, I've been doing similar stuff with super rare crafting points. Like super rare crafting points just doesn't even feel like a real currency in Macedon. It's just like you get those along the way of obtaining your ultra rares anyways, and you always need more ultras than supers. So like whenever there's always times where I have a bunch of super rare crafting points left over, and I'll just make something that I play a lot. Like I don't know, my Requiems or my Branded Regains or whatever. Those are royals. So like it's the super rare part is kind of whatever. The ultra rares is where it gets crazy.
Yep. So before we flip flop too hard, we did want to start with TCG. So, should we just begin with Duelist Advance? Maybe I think is like the most relevant thing. So
yeah, I mean that set just came out, and I am pretty excited about it. Well, pretty excited is maybe the wrong word because it's kind of It's got its pros and cons as a set. I don't know how much you've looked into it or how much you followed TCG recently at all. If not, then I can just like monologue about it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take the ropes on this one. From what I've heard, it's pretty much like a nothing set. The onomats are good for Ryzeal. There's Luna Lights.
Yeah.
And I think that's about all I know about it.
I wouldn't call it a nothing set. I think in terms of meta relevance, there is no deck in there that is going to overtake Malice or Ryzeal Mitsurugi for now. But there are like a couple of decks in there or archetypes in there that I feel like join the format as like contenders, where like there's even right now, even if Mitsurugi and Malice slash Mitsurugi Ryzeal are the top decks in the current format, definitely there's a lot of other decks that can like they can compete, right? You'll see like the top cuts at all the big nationals have like maybe around 50% between Malice and Mitsurugi Ryzeal, and then the other 50 is like a bunch of other stuff. Like there's like Mermail can top, Memento can top, Blue Eyes can top, and there's a bunch of others. So there's a couple of decks that join that half of the pie chart, basically, right? Like Luna Light, Sky Striker is not terrible. The new Vanquish Soul support is really strong, and once we get K9, that's going to be crazy. The Onomat is another viable version of Ryzeal next to like Mitsurugi and Heraldic, which was also a thing. So it's got some interesting stuff in there. I just think it's a little bit of a weird set because on the one hand, it has those interesting decks in it, and it is, I think, really nice for players' wallets if they are getting the singles, because I think the most expensive card out of the set that isn't a Starlight is Vanquish Soul Holy Sue, and that is like I think approaching $30.
Oh, is that this set?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Wow. No, that's crazy. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought it was going to be coming out at the same time as Justice Hunters, but it's that gets crazier when Justice Hunter comes out. So yeah, Holy Sue's this set. What's Holy Sue at these days?
Like price wise?
Yeah,
I think 30.
Oh, it's only an ultra.
It is only an ultra, so it is relatively expensive for an ultra rare, and I think that's also why like I feel like it's been creeping up a little bit. I'm not sure, but it's sitting around like 28, 29, 30. for an Ultra, which is obviously a decent amount for an Ultra, but it is not that much for being the most expensive card in the set outside of Starlights, right? It's like, if you're buying singles, this set is not going to be that expensive for you. However, of course, that has led to, of course, some box openings being pretty disappointing, because like when you don't pull the Holy Soul Ultra, then your box is basically not quite that good, unless you get a Starlight, which are now like 1 in 3 boxes, I think. Like they're basically making Starlights at the pull rate of quarter century secret rares now, so it's like more realistic to get a Starlight. But basically, you're trying to pull Holy Su.
Is that like semi-new news? Because I knew that, because didn't we talk about this ages ago where we weren't sure what they would do to the ratio of...
We talked about it during the Ruxin podcast, I believe. We talked product design with him, and I think at that point it was not known yet whether they're going to...
So QCRs and Starlights are basically the same thing now, essentially.
Yes, exactly. So Starlights are back, and they are replacing QCRs 1-to-1. So you're going to pull Starlights more often than back in the day. Which I think is pretty cool, because I like Starlights a lot.
Back in the day when we used to, as old men,
I mean, dude, quarter century celebration was like 3 years or some shit. When was the last Starlights?
Gosh, good question. It has been almost half a century of quarter century celebration.
Dude.
So, one thing I was looking into this set was it pisses me off that they called it RB. Because now, like, when RB doesn't mean Ritual Beast anymore in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
RB means, what does it stand for? It's just RB. We don't know what it means, right?
I think Rebel Bots. I read somewhere.
Oh, yeah. So I was just laughing at the names of these things. Funk Doc is what they went with for the name of this. I guess I'm reading that for the first time. I read these cards, right, and I looked at some combos with RBs. I think this deck is really cool. I think this is decent. Like,
it's no Mitsurugi off of the first wave, but the cards are decent. I agree, but it is. Like, I think it's just another one of those set archetypes where it does 100% rely on the second wave, right? Like there's good cards here, but it's not a deck yet.
Look. This is not a Ashen situation, okay?
No, not that. No.
There is genuine teeth behind this deck.
Yeah.
And I think that with like I think, what would you say this deck is missing? I think it's like missing like just a solid like real starter. Like they have starters, but they need like a dormouse, you know? Like...
No, don't give him a dormouse, please. I was going the other direction because I feel like the deck has already gotten some pretty good starters. I mean, of course, more starters never hurts, but I feel like the end board is lacking at the moment. Because the deck has something that I actually really appreciate, and that's a proper lock. You know, they actually do lock themselves pretty efficiently from the extra deck. I think it's a lock from the extra deck machine monsters with 1500 or less attack or something like that. So,
very specific, yeah.
Which is a proper lock, which I would like to see on more archetypes. But that means that you are basically limited to doing mostly RB related stuff. And that leaves you with just, you know, you can build your Link 3 robot and attach some stuff to it. But that, for the most part, I think it gives you like a pop and what was the other thing? Like, I don't know, a pop and a monster negate or something like that. Not nowhere close to enough. So like the idea behind the deck, I think, is pretty cool. But I feel like it's just missing a little bit of an end board.
Yeah, it's got a pop and a spell and tramp negate.
In my head, I think it'd be really cool if they made it so, because I think the whole idea of some of them is like, so you have the Link monster in the extra monster zone, right? And it points to like some of its parts, right? You equip different parts to it. And so like, I think it's a really cool concept where I think it's the field spell that says if one of the parts gets destroyed, you get to summon another one from the deck. So if they lean more into that, where... Because the parts pop themselves to do something. The part, like there's one part that pops itself to pop an opponent's monster, for example. So I like the idea where you just like cycle those on your opponent's turn, right? Like every single part that you equip to it, like interrupts your opponent and replaces itself with another part. So like we would need more of that.
I know it's crazy to say, but I find it weird they made that once per turn. Because like... it just feels like that should be like the gimmick almost, right? Because like
Yeah.
the funk dot isn't once per turn, which is crazy. Like the field spell, every time one of those parts leaves from destroying itself and doing something, it floats into another piece. And I just thought that maybe they would make it like make those pieces not once per turn. It might be a little bit too broken, but
See, but the replacement is not once per turn, right?
yeah, so
Yeah.
it floats into anything multiple times. Which
Yeah,
is
right. So we need
kinda
more parts. We need more different like options, right? Like
Yeah.
we need more because that would make the end board better, right? If you had a lot of
Yeah.
stuff to cycle through, like one is a monster pop, one is a spell trap pop, maybe one is a bounce, one is whatever. Like, you know, if you made like a bunch of them, then you could call that an end board, right? Then we'd be talking. If you just set up the big robot and all the little parts are doing their thing, and then maybe that's good enough as a deck.
I mean, I think it's both for sure.
Yeah.
The reason why I wasn't worried about the end board is like I thought like it was basically confirmed they're getting like a big monster, right? Because that's the whole point, like because they're all different parts. And if you look at the artwork of the Link 3, it just doesn't have some of these monsters on it.
Well, I think that's
So
the point, though, isn't it? Like it doesn't have them yet because you're supposed to equip into it.
Oh, I thought we would be getting like a big boss monster that has all of them, or something like a Link 5 or some crazy thing.
Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
But the way I interpret it is like they're not on the artwork because you still haven't equipped them to it. Like it's kind of like
Sure.
But I don't know. But I think it's a cool concept. I like it. It's not as good as Mitsurugi, of course, but that's also not a fair bar for a new archetype. Like that's not what we expect or what we can expect off of every single TCG exclusive archetype. I think this one's a decent one. And as always, or as usual with these, it does depend on the second wave. If the second wave gives it a couple more pieces and maybe like one or two extra starter / consistency cards, we might be looking at a real deck.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like, you're right. It does need an end board piece, but like, none of these do anything by themselves. Like, you need to get to the Link too, basically, to do anything. And
Yeah,
that
the
just
spells
needs
are
two
the ones that
cards.
start.
Yeah, you just need 2 cards for that.
Yeah.
You can't. There is no like 1-card combo. Which, listen, I'm not looking for Snake Eye Ash.
Yeah.
Like, more, I'm looking more like a Gazelle type of thing. You know, that's what I think is.
Well, they are to be fair. I think for the most part, the lock is for the rest of the turn, and the Link 2 is a good starter for the deck. So there's a couple of ways you can get started in that deck by just playing like generic machine stuff. Because I think
It is generic, yeah.
the Link 2 is like 2 machine monsters. So people have like you can like Terra Top into the machine, and then that gets you going.
True.
Stuff
I think like
that.
Infinitrax stuff is probably in this deck, right?
There's probably ways to it.
play.
I haven't looked into it that much, but like anything that gets you to 2 machines would technically be a way to start for the deck.
Anyway, that's a Ritual Beast. When I was watching your stream where you were going over all of Duelist Advance, did you just like not talk about the BA cards?
I talked about them before. I just don't feel like BA is a thing. Do you?
Wow, this guy, dude. No, it's just like you didn't even like mention them on your stream like highlight thing that you were doing, which I thought was mucho disrespectful. But we did get 3 cards, which people have been theorying as like well, to be fair, I'm surprised you didn't mention it as like, you know, maybe branded cards or like
Branded?
for other I think like people were saying like these were good in like some one of the fusion decks. I think it was.
I feel like I did more in-depth talk when I reacted to them, like the cards being announced, but I didn't include them in my like Duelist Advance introduction type video because I just didn't feel like they were, at least for now, I didn't feel like they were quite meta relevant enough. And I did leave out some other stuff as well. The video is still like pretty long, but these they are pretty tailor-made for BA, right? Like it really feels like they were
100%.
supposed to be BA support.
Yeah, they definitely are, but I did see some people talk about how like they're actually really good in Dark Lord because it's a generic fusion.
Yeah.
I think, right? Mutiny in the Sky, like you can literally summon Dante with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like summoning the first Dark Lord, people were talking about that, but that's not as relevant. I feel like it was one of the more relevant fusion.
There's
decks.
a lot of decks that people have mentioned for this. People have mentioned to me, I mean, of course, it has Fiendsmith synergy because, you know, it's a Fiend extender and it fuses from the graveyard, so you can still make like fusions with it. I feel like that'd be more relevant if we still had Fusion Lacrima. But You know, people have been talking about doing just in general, just Fiend Link basically being like kind of like a new interpretation of like what Dragon Link used to be, where you just play like some Unchained cards, some Fiendsmith cards, and then this can make like the new Fiend support can make like Aerial Eater or Duke of Demise. Or no, actually, is Duke of Demise a Fiend or a zombie? I don't know. But
it is. Well, you can definitely make Duke of Demise with this. I think one of the combos I came up with it.
I think it's a Fiend. I think Sequence can also make it. So
it requires 2 Fiends and or zombies. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is a Fiend.
I created this combo where you can normal summon Tour Guide twice, which was really funny.
So you like, yeah, I've heard of this. You like normal summon Tour Guide, and then you like pop your Unchained Soul of Rage, add it back to your hand, and then you normal summon it again.
I think you can actually do that. That might be more convenient. But the 1-card combo I came up with involved sending, you know the card Diabolica?
Yeah, to add it back?
Yeah, so you like you send Rhino Warrior, then you send Diabolica, and then Diabolica adds Tour Guide, and then you fuse into the Duke, and then you just normal summon Tour Guide again.
Yeah, I mean, so stuff like that. Fiend has a lot of like support. Just like it could be like the next Dragon Link at some point.
Yeah, because I think like arguably the best like Fiend monster, other than like Fiendsmith, but like you play Fiendsmith in this stuff anyway, would probably be like Aerial Eater, like because it's so like good for bridging everything together. Because I mean, it's just a Foolish Burial on summon, right? And it's level 6, which is just randomly insane.
Yep.
But I don't know how you would play this. You'd have to play like some sort of 3-axis Fiend stuff so that you could make Cherubini to like send the Buyo, which searches the fusion spell.
To have consistent access to it, yeah.
So I don't know if anyone's gonna cook up something like that, but yeah,
it's a lot of work to get Fuwa'd.
Exactly. No, there's no answer to Fuwa. I tried to play around with it. I never came up with a deck list or anything, but yeah, absolutely. Fuwa loss is I think like the most annoying card for everyone. I've heard this now. I don't know how you feel, but I've just heard so many people complaining about TCG because so many games are lingering card effects. Same story as always. So
I think if anything, TCG. I'm more annoyed by Droll and Lockbird. I don't feel so strongly about Molcharmi Fuvalos, but that's also because I look at it from a more competitive angle, and so my answer is more like, well, I'm just gonna try and play a deck that has lines into it, and it doesn't really.
Well, that's the thing, right? The decks you pick just don't lose to Fuwa.
Yeah, basically. But that, I mean, I understand the people where like their pet deck cannot do that, and so they're frustrated to not be able to play that deck. Like when you have a really cool idea like Fiend Link or whatever, and you'd be really passionate about it, and you just can't make it work because Fuwa is a thing, right? That's just a sort of thing where I have a different perspective on it, but that doesn't mean that that's not reasonable.
It's not. I don't think it's like even pet decks, right? Like they're like most of the meta decks like just can't beat Fuwa, right? Like Malice is still around. Which
Malice is okay into Fuwa.
Is it?
It really is, yeah.
Okay, fair.
I caught Fuwa on Master Duel today because like after a while I just noticed like it wasn't doing enough for me, and like Malice didn't care enough.
Okay, interesting.
Because the half boards, Malice is one of those decks that actually has decent half boards into Fuwa. Like when you set up like Red Ransom plus Malice in the Mirror or something like that, you still get like a decent amount of interruption for like one Fuwa draw.
Well, it'll be interesting to see where this set goes, because there's definitely some fertile soil here with like the RB cards. The Onomats are in here, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe Onomat Ryziel is like a genuinely real deck.
Yeah, so Heraldic Ryziel at the moment is already getting a decent amount of tops. And I personally think that Onomat Ryziel, at least from first impression, is just a better version of that deck. Because the Onomat cards are not as bad into Droll and Lockbird.
I see. Well, that's cool, I guess.
I'm gonna need you to give me a prediction. Is Archmage gonna be? How good is Archmage gonna be?
Well, it's like strange because TCG's in this like weird limbo where it's like, is there gonna be a ban list before?
No, not right now. That's not what I mean. Because right now it's just only okay.
In general,
because it's the new lore archetype. You know that?
Like, I mean, yeah, I did read these like when they were first revealed, but it's just one of those like. It's the same discussion we have every say. Like we just talked about it with RB. It's like these are really good cards. They just need another wave of support.
Yeah, but surely this one is more likely to get that, right?
Surely this is the one. Yep, this is the one. Surely,
yeah, but like historically, look at the last couple of lore archetypes, right? There's not a single one there that's been bad.
Okay, when you say lore archetype, like what do you mean? Like I know you mean like Snake Eye branded, but like how do you know that's the difference between like every archetype is a lore archetype to some extent, no?
Well, no, this one is the new Diabellstar. Like Medius is the new Diabellstar / Fallen of Albaz.
Is this just like the formula that they have gone with? Like there's a monster who is the center force of everything, and then they just make cards around that one card. Like branded as Fallen of Albaz, everything in that archetype is
Visa
something to do with Fallen of
Starfrost,
Albaz.
and then Diabellstar.
Okay, so I guess that's it. We've just decided Hinduism is the way to design archetypes now, I guess. Like
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
like,
I think it's a formula that's worked, right? I mean, people really liked Albaz. Like that entire lore has a lot of fans. And I mean, of course, I don't know. I would argue that branded is probably the most popular out of the last three, like out of Visa Starfrost and Diabellstar. But even Visa Starfrost and Diabellstar, like just people just love this stuff. Like when archetypes are connected and have like a cool boss monster in the center of all of it, and there's like stories behind it. People just like this stuff, and so I'm not surprised that they keep doing it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, he's better than Albaz. Like Albaz as a card, like it kind of isn't like that good, I feel.
They found some good uses for it after a while. Like when they gave you a decent amount of ways to summon it on the opponent's turn after a while. Like in the beginning it sucked because it did nothing. But then as soon as they made, I feel like Rindbrum was the big one because that gave you easy ways to summon it on the opponent's turn. That made it like pretty strong actually. But yeah, initially I felt the same way about it. Like in 2022, like the fact that like, I feel like that was the weirdest part about Albaz was like Albaz itself wasn't a play. That kind of sucked.
Right. So this is why this one seems kind of crazy, right? Because like if this is supposed to be Albaz, like this is in a vacuum better than Albaz, surely, right? Like,
and that's the thing with this archetype. A lot of their cards are pretty high quality. They just don't have like enough of them yet. But if they get more support that is targeted
like
at this
fucking deja vu, man. We just have this conversation.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I kind of hate this because it forces you to be like it's like Yu-Gi-Oh is the stock market now for like a couple months. Because like the thing is, look at the Archmage field spell, right? The Archmage Acropolis is like it's like I think the fourth most expensive secret rare in the set, and it's like at the moment it's like I think $18 in Germany, or 20.
That's quite a lot actually.
It's the thing is, it's like it is not a lot if the deck gets good, because then it could easily be an €80 card like Pearl Rhino or some shit. But for how popular the deck is right now, it's actually very expensive. Like if the deck wasn't expected to get good, it'd be like a €5 card, because right now no one is looking to play it.
Okay, but isn't that mostly because of the fact that nothing else is worth getting?
In the set?
Like something has to, so like something has to have the value in that.
Yeah, maybe, but I think it's also partially because people just assign like potential to this card, even though it's not there yet, and we don't know for sure if it's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's really funny. I don't know. It's hopefully, I guess, like it'll be cool. It seems like it's got neat things around it. It just like ultimately depends like what direction they decide to design it in. I think it's just funny that if you just replace everything you just said, but instead of that guy, just say Vidos, right? It's just the same thing, right?
Yeah,
like,
no, I think
like
it's the same
boss monster. Like
it's the same principle, but I think the difference is, and the reason why this card is expensive and the RB cards are not actually very expensive at the moment, is I think people historically just assign a higher probability to good Archmage support than they do to good TCG exclusive archetype support.
Which is really ironic because the last TCG exclusive was absolutely bananas,
yeah, but like then there's also all the other ones before that which we haven't forgotten. You know, I have not forgotten the Libromancers.
Oh yeah, those were
or Ashen,
interesting,
or whatever else there was that I have actually forgotten.
Yeah, Ashen was definitely the biggest disappointment because people were so hyped about it because it was such a crazy artwork, like lore dump type of thing. Like,
which in hindsight, myself included, what a crazy reason to be hyped about an archetype. Like, why would they? Like, I feel like maybe myself even maybe I said like, oh, they put so much effort into the artwork, surely they're not gonna let it go to waste. And then that's exactly what they did. I can't wait for the RB fusion monster.
but it's like a popular art style, right? Like
Yeah.
that is like Souls-like games are the biggest games in the world, probably. And like
Yeah.
to see something so blatantly like reminiscent of that, and to just like make it like into this tier 6 deck is just really depressing. But to be fair, when
Yeah.
it comes to artwork, dude, have you seen like a random World Chalice trap card? Just like the most random cards in the game are just the most beautiful things you'll ever see.
Yeah.
But like they're just like there's just too many cards. That's the problem, I guess. There's just literally too many cards.
I just hope Artmage is more in the vein of like Branded than Snake Eyes.
Oh, like playstyle wise, sure.
Not playstyle wise, but more like power level wise. Because even though there's been periods where I was not the biggest fan of Branded, or I haven't even played that much Branded myself, but I think overall power level wise, I think you just got to give it to them. They did pretty well with Branded. Like Branded was a pretty beloved archetype for a long time, and it was very meta relevant for a long time, but it never like completely dominated the game so that people got absolutely sick of it.
Can I say something without being judged and also not trying to come across as wow, we're just gonna complain about everything?
No.
But okay, well I'll say it anyway. I really like everything about Branded.
Yeah.
But it's too hard.
That's fair. Sure.
They just made the deck too hard. Why is it so difficult? It's just too hard. Like it's so difficult. Like it's so funny because like maybe the way to play Branded was you just had to play since the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the deck was like 2 buttons basically, right?
What do you mean? There's a really precise tutorial video on YouTube.
Yeah, let me just find 19 hours to dedicate to that one day. Thank you, April. But yeah, it's that's obviously a very minor first world problem, irrelevant problem, I guess, to have.
I think that's all, but I think that's also partially why people like it so much. Like I think there's like two sides to that argument. But I definitely see where you're coming from. But what I was saying more like, I felt like when we went from Branded to the Visa Starfrost stuff, there was like there was a bunch of different decks from the Visa Starfrost lore, but they were all either not quite good enough to even see a lot of competitive play. Like I would argue like Monadium was a deck that like wasn't very popular.
Whoa, hold on, listen. I can hear Triff screaming at you right now, dude. I can literally hear him.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Bro, I got top 4.
And then, but then on the other side of that, there was Tier and Cash Tira, right? Which I feel like were so overdone, right? So yeah.
It's funny because you look at the lore of those decks, like none of the lore that in those decks was relevant in terms of the gameplay, right? Like there wasn't like Visa Starfrost was supposed to be the one, but you just didn't play that in
Cash. I hated
you just didn't play that in Tier.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, is there a world where Artmagia, like, or whatever the main guy is called, they just make a different direction and he just isn't played? Like,
well,
I don't know.
The thing with Medius is he's not an art mage. He just summons one of the art mages. He's like on summon,
exactly, just like Visas.
Right? Yes, but like with Medius, I think he's good enough of a card that he would see play in any deck that has a good power patron.
Yeah. But
yeah, I just like I was more of a fan of how they did Branded than what they did with Visas and Diabellstar, because they made those decks, I think, just way too powerful. With Diabellstar, of course, the one I mean was Snake Eyes. The other ones, power level wise, were fine. And I just want this one to be more balanced.
It's weird though, right? Because like they can just design it however they want, right? Like look at Diabell, right? It's like in a nutshell, I don't think Diabell's that good. It's a -1 that gets you a card from deck. Like that just doesn't sound like it would be a good card. Like,
yeah, but what if the card you get with it gives you 8?
Exactly, right? So if they just make the cards a certain way, it just becomes the most broken thing in the world, obviously.
Yeah, no, so I understand. It's all up to them on how this is gonna go. I'm just saying I hope it goes more like it went with Branded and not how it went with Diabellstar.
So for the other decks in this set, I can't believe I saw people cheering for Monarchs, but I'm surprised that deck hasn't done anything, by the way. Like, is that crazy to think? I feel like a very consistent searchable domain is absolutely nuts. Maybe it just dies to draw because everyone's maining that.
It might also just not have a real win con going second. I haven't actually looked into it too much.
It's Snake Eye combo. Summon a monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck.
With no lock?
No, you can't special from the extra deck.
Okay, well, I feel like that's a big problem.
But you could still summon Ash for Poplar. Like you can do that with Monarch if you want.
What am I gonna turn my Ash and Poplar into?
Into a flat merge.
I'm tributing for Ether?
Does Ash get you to Diabell?
In like a convoluted way it can in the end phase.
Yeah. So I think that's unironically one of the combos I saw. You can go Diabell and then you can like set up Dramatic Chase and then that gets you Silvera.
Yeah.
So
it's like Poplar for Dramatic Chase, put Diabell Star in the spell trap zone, and then in end phase you summon it out and get the trap.
Yes. So if you want to play Monarch Snake Eye, it has combos for anyone who cares.
Don't do that. Well, to be fair, if they're gonna play Monarch, their combos are gonna be disgusting anyways. Like even if they don't summon Diabell Star, actually do that. I'd rather play against Diabell Star than against Vanity's Fiend or whatever.
There's two kinds of Monarch players. There's whatever that was, and there's also like I haven't played in 10 years. My name's Lithium. I have a camera.
What's up, guys?
Speech bubble above the Majesty's Fiend. Yo, what's up, guys?
Shenanigans.
Backed up by March. Yeah, the shenanigans is March of the Monarchs and Domain. So is Lunalight relevant? Because I read these cards and they seemed absolutely custom.
Yeah, they are. And the deck is relevant, I'm pretty sure. It's scary.
Okay.
Dude, have you read their win con?
It's the Towers Raigeki, right?
Yeah, dude, it's an insane concept of a card, dude.
And I think
why couldn't the Dragon Ruler be like this?
Whoa, okay.
What do you mean, okay? The Dragon Ruler is just a towers, nothing else. And even that is basically under the condition that you have all 6 attributes under it. And Lunalight.
Which one is this?
Disaster. They got 3 new exceeds. They got light, dark, and
it's the dark
disaster.
Exceed?
No, they got light, dark, and disaster.
What is disaster? What's the attribute? What is I know what the others do. Like I know how the deck works.
Yeah, he's a light.
This one. Is this new?
Yeah, it's like in the same set as the other 2.
Oh, right. It's so weird. I remember the other 2 probably because no one was playing it. But I did see like Dragon Link like style. Swap involving.
No, so disaster was, I guess, meant to be the new win con of the deck. It's like you need to overlay the 2 other exceeds to make it. And then you can
right, that's how it works.
And then you can attach like up to 4 Dragon Rulers to it from your Grave or Banished pile. And then when it has all 6 different attribute Dragon Rulers attached to it, it's unaffected by your opponent's cards. And it's 4,600. So like that's not a good win con because a towers that is just a towers quote unquote in modern Yu-Gi-Oh just sucks because every deck has answers to just run over it. Like Malice has multiple ways to do it. Like they can just make a big heart scripter. They can make an access code, just attack over it. Mitsurugi or any Ryziel variation can just make anything super big with Dugaras or something. So like every deck has easy ways to out a towers or just like your standard, Underworld Goddess or whatever. And the crazy thing with Lunalight is that the towers just outs all of its outs. Because it's a 3800 is completely unaffected by everything that isn't Lunalights. And quick effect can destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls. So when your opponent goes for an out to it, like you just Raigeki them. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, and it's not a hard once per turn.
No, and the combo summons too.
Wait, that's standard?
Yeah, it's standard. The standard combo summons too. And Baguska. And it's unaffected by Baguska.
Wait, and Baguska? Oh, that's so funny. It's weird. I don't know. Like, because I remember reading the Raidraptor stuff for the first time many whiles ago. Yeah. And it just seemed absolutely ludicrous. Here's a towers monster that Raigekis your opponent and is very easy to summon. You summon 2 of them. Yeah. And it wasn't very good.
Yeah, well, this one is Raidraptor, but with less wings, which is good.
Yeah, she's got a sword. But how do you summon it? Because it needs 4 materials apparently.
They
I
have like
assume you're,
miracle
like,
fusions and shit. Like they never actually have to pay for it.
so I know like one of them is summoned from Wolf, I think, right? The pendulum
One like
scale.
so they summon 2, and one of them is Wolf, which is just miracle fusion, and then they have a new continuous spell, Masquerade, that says one time this turn. Like it has some other effects, like it's a consistency card as well, but it also
Random
says
fusion.
one time when you fusion summon this turn, you can also use the materials from Grave instead. So like basically it's miracle fusion twice for the thing.
Wait, from Grave. Wait, so you banish like 8 cards essentially?
You have, I think it's like some of them you take from your hand and field. Because
Okay.
the Leo Dancer, oh no, the Liger Dancer, I think needs Leo Dancer as material, which is also a fusion monster. And you don't
Yeah.
actually summon that one. You like the way you do it is you summon Kaleido Chick, and then Kaleido Chick sends one Leo Dancer from your extra deck to the graveyard to copy its name. And then you use the Kaleido Chick from your field as a Leo Dancer to make one Liger. And then you make the actual copy of Leo Dancer in your grave that you sent there with Kaleido Chick is the material for the other Liger Dancer.
Crazy that it only took like 10 years for Kaleido Chick's effect to be relevant. Like that isn't just like, sending Martin
Yeah.
essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like we're actually sending from the extra deck with
Yeah.
Kaleido Chick now.
That is, I guess, the cool part about this support is that you actually play Luna Light now. It's like no longer just like a rank 4 slop engine in other decks, but it is a pure Luna Light deck. Now, whether you like the win con of that deck or not is a different story, but it is pure Luna Lights and it's actually fusion summoning, and they even play like Luna Light Fusion, like the spell card. So it's like, that's cool.
Oh yeah, it seems really cool. I would definitely like to try it at some point when it comes to Master Duel, I guess. But is Gem Knight real? Because I'm looking at a regional top right now.
Yeah, well, that must be NA, buddy, because we don't have those.
Oh, wait, we don't have regionals? Like, is that just... Yeah, it's like weird. They seem to have regionals like deep into nationals.
No, we don't have the cards, is what I mean. They're Battles of Legends.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good point.
We have regionals, I think. Well, right now we have nationals. We're gonna have regionals soon, but we don't have the Battles of Legends cards. So no Orcust for us either, which is actually doing pretty well. Orcust is doing better than I expected.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there was a regional where 5 out of the top 8 were all playing Mitsurugi Orcust.
Mitsu Orcust?
Yeah, they're pairing Mitsu with Orcust. It's pretty sick.
What's like the synergy? Like,
he's dark.
Okay.
No, I think there's lines where you make King of the Feral Imps with Orcust, but I think in reality it's just a quote-unquote way to fix each other's weaknesses, like the pure Orcust deck. Before I knew I wasn't going to be able to play Orcust at Nationals, because I thought I was going to German Nationals and Orcust was supposed to be out for it. I tested some pure Orcust and I had consistency issues with the deck because I just felt like it didn't have enough starters. And I think that is still the case. So basically what this deck is doing is it adds like the Mitsu engine to it so that it becomes more consistent, quote unquote, because if you don't draw an Orcust card, you are at least doing Mitsu combo, which is it can still win a game on its own. And then vice versa as well. If you don't have access to the Orcust, to the Mitsurugi cards, you're likely to have an Orcust card, so you can just win off of Orcust. If you have them both together, they do not like they do not have like interfere with each other. Like you can do both of the things in the same turn. So your deck just has a higher ceiling if you draw both. And then they also just happen to somewhat cover each other's weaknesses. Like you can do Mitsurugi stuff under Lancea and you can do Orcust stuff under Droll. So it's kind of neat.
Okay, that's really interesting because I'm looking at this Gem Knight list here, and the main deck is just like 3 Droll, and then 3 Pulrulia, 3 Fua. That's it for hand traps.
Yep.
And everything else is just board breakers. Cool to see that still around. Lightning Storm Duster, Thrust, Droplet.
Yep. I don't actually know that much about Gem Knights because by the time I would have looked into Gem Knights, it was already clear that I was going to go to French Nationals, which was before Battles of Legends release anyways. So I actually, and then they postponed it. So like, because I'm focused on Euros right now, I haven't actually looked at the Gem Knight stuff too much.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, that's fair enough because it's a sizable regional, 400 players, and to top that is kind of cool, I guess. So maybe this will be a real deck at the NAWCQ. No, it was top 8.
Yeah. That is impressive. I mean, I that's the thing
Yeah.
about the current TCG format, I guess, is that like the Mitsurugi and Malice are really dominant, but they don't push out anything in particular out of the game. I feel like there's no deck that just inherently can't exist because those decks exist, because they are the best decks in the game, but they're not like gapping everything out by like a mile.
I'm just seeing a pattern here, and I'm just like, well, I guess it doesn't matter what deck you're playing if everyone is just maining
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's like
Kua.
that's the that it has both positives and negatives. It's like you kind of have to play those cards to compete, but if you play those cards, you can kind of compete with most decks. Well, most
Yeah.
competent decks, right? Like not every deck is going to work like that, but like as long as your deck has a solid engine, you're not forced to play Malice this format. You're not forced to play Mitsu if you don't want to.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about TCG wise?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, we haven't really touched on Striker and Vanquish Soul that much, which are the two decks I'm the most excited about from Duelist Advance. I already said on stream that if one of those two decks turns out good enough, I am going to play it at Euros. It doesn't have to be the best deck.
Vanquish Soul? Did you say Vanquish Soul Striker?
Vanquish Soul or Striker, not like one deck, but like one of those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, even before K9. Interesting.
I think it's pretty good. Like I'm currently leaning towards Vanquish Soul over Striker because Striker is a nightmare into draw.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, good luck with that. And it gets even more crazy with K9.
It's legitimately going to be likely the best deck in the game by Justice Hunter's release, which is like weird, I guess, because I was thinking about whether they're gonna do a ban list at some point to do something about Mitsurugi and Malice and Raiziel, but I'm not sure if they are just like more happy to just let Justice Hunters do its thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's just those awkward situations where it's like, I mean, there could be a ban list, but it's also just like, well, a set kind of deals with or shakes the meta up enough by itself. So what's the plan there?
I did make to close out Alliance Inside format. I still made like a ban list discussion / prediction as to what I would do if they wanted to do one. And for the most part, I reached the conclusion that I would like them to more more cover some more generic cards rather than they don't need to like kill Malice or Mitsu or Raiziel. I wanted them to do like slight hits to those decks, but for the most part, I would like to see cards like Protoss go or something like that, like more generic stuff that's just been a menace in TCG.
Has Protoss been relevant in TCG?
Oh yeah, almost every Raiziel deck does it. Yeah.
Wait, what? Raiziel's Protossing now?
They go Banshee into flag. Right? They go Banshee, flag, Protoss in almost any Raiziel combo build. It's crazy. Because also Protoss and Eschatos, they just solo Malice and Mitsu. It's insane. Like they just beat both of those.
People are playing Eschatos? That's
insane. Dude, there's been builds of Raiziel with 3 Eschatos, 1 Protoss, and like Banshee flag.
Brother, what are you people doing in
TCG? It's crazy out here.
Oh man, it's yeah, no, that's I mean, it's the same story every single format. This format is just a couple of floodgates and lingering card effects away from being crazy, and it's been 10 years now. But anyway, should we talk about Massadul?
Sure.
Yeah, all right, Massadul. Woo! Oaks banned today. The format saved.
Struggle in Wonderland.
This set is crazy.
Yep.
First and foremost, everything is an ultra rare. Absolutely everything. Everything is an ultra rare, except for the one-offs.
White Binder and Red Ransom are super rares, so they're one-offs.
Chessy Cat's a super rare. I've been playing 3 personally. Well, 2 because I can't get the 3rd royal. When I get the 3rd royal, I'll play 3 Chessy.
Oh, you're okay. So that's your logic. You're like, hey, I don't have 3 royals, so I'm only playing 2.
Yeah. Literally, I respect it. I wish I was kidding, but
I agree. No, that's correct.
No, I did my first ever like test hand with it, and I kind of got the flow of it. It seems like a very high skill floor, but once you get there, you can kind of lean on the basics.
That's probably fair. Yeah, like if you just pick this deck up and just play, it's probably gonna be a mess. It even even for me today, I played it, and because I had almost no practice with it in the TCG, I've gotten pretty good over the months at assessing like my opponent's options, but I wasn't like the one making the decisions for them. Like I'm pretty good at seeing my opponent's options in any given situation, but when I am the one being presented with all those options, I still make mistakes a decent amount of the time, especially because Master Duel does have like a slightly different card pool that just changes things, you know, like all of a sudden there is Link Decoder again. All of a sudden we have Appaloosa, and like, you know, it just changes the lines ever so slightly to the point where I'm just not used to it. So it is something you're going to have to learn. And I will say that part of the deck I did enjoy, you know, playing the deck yourself and like figuring out lines and playing into stuff, playing around interruption or whatever. It's a fun deck to play.
I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
Like, it's Cybers, so it's always like it's combo, and I've never like really been crazy about Cybers because it's a little too spammy for me. But there's just like it just feels really different because you're utilizing like the banish zone, the graveyard, your hand now with March Hare, so it's very layered, and you're using traps sometimes as well. So there's a lot of cool ways to push through things and stuff. So I've been having a blast with it. Again, like I said, I've literally done one test hand with it. And it felt very fluid and very crazy. And watching, I did the infamous Farfa Viewer Duel Room today. So we got to see Farfa Viewers play Malice, which was entertaining. And just watching the games themselves, like, they weren't good games, don't get me wrong. Like, they were awful games, terrible. Just miserable state of affairs in Master right now. This deck is completely, like, toxic. Like, why has Appaloosa not been banned? But it looks like they're having fun, right? There's always,
one of
like,
them is having
options.
fun. That's the thing, right? And when you are the one performing the Malice combo, you are having fun. It is a fun deck to play. But I just think that, and that's never been my point. It's never been my point that the deck isn't fun to play. And I understand people that enjoy this deck. It's just that the deck is so incredibly powerful that the other person is not having fun. Which is what I was always worried about. But yeah, the fact that Appaloosa is legal on top of that makes it even crazier. Like, that was insane. I have never played in a format where Malice had Appaloosa, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's I saw one game today where they got Ash, Veiler, Impermed, 3 hand trap, and they just ended on trap. Apple, Firewall. Still, it was like nothing happened. They just like discarded 3 cards. It's crazy, and it didn't even seem like they were using them incorrectly or anything. It's just like the deck can just do that if you draw enough like names and stuff.
So while this deck is a lot healthier than Snake Eyes, I will say that I do think Malice is healthier than Snake Eyes. I also think that is not a very high bar or low bar, depending on how you look at it. But it's a very similar concept to it, where one starter versus one hand trap, the hand trap is fine, usually. Like, you know, they normal summon a Dormouse, you imperm it, that works. But as soon as they have an extender, you can throw extra hand traps at them, and it doesn't feel like it matters. You know, like they have the extenders for their combos. You're just gonna feel it's just gonna be a nightmare. Like, I don't know, you imperm the Dormouse, they activate Malice in Underground, banish White Rabbit, special White Rabbit, and you're what am I supposed to do with my extra hand traps right now? Like, what are we doing here? It's weird.
Yeah, it's just like I just think, like, conceptually, you know, we've talked about design a couple times, but just like extenders should have diminishing returns. Extenders shouldn't just do what the starter did. Like, because at that point you're just like comparing hands. So that's kind of the issue, right? Because it's like, you hand trap Dormouse, and it's like, okay, well, activate field spell. Okay, well, that just did everything that the Dormouse was going to do.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's always slightly different with Malice, because now you have the field spell activated already, so your Red Ransom works differently, because you can't just add the field spell and continue that way. It changes stuff, but as long as you're familiar with how it changes, the combos are all still very, very powerful and very, very similar. So yeah, it's just a matter of, I'd be fine with those combos if the endboard was just like a little bit weaker, or the follow-up was a little bit weaker. But the way it is right now in Master Duel, the deck is as I think the most powerful version of Malice that has ever existed in any card game. Like in TCG, we never had Apo, and by the time we got March Hare and Malice in the Mirror, all the other ones were already at 2. And Link Decoder was banned. And here now it's just everything's at 3. You have March here, you have Malice in the Mirror, you have Link Decoder, you have Appaloosa, which you can make very, very early on in the combo, which makes almost every single combo Nibiru safe.
Dude, one Dormouse plays through Nibiru.
Yeah.
Like, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, one card should not beat Nibiru. It's crazy.
Yeah. Unless the one card just makes like a simple combo that's like 4 summons. Then I respect it. But like, yeah.
Yeah. It's the biggest question, I guess, for a lot of people listening is this actually tier 0? Or are we legitimately in a tier 0 format? Is this all we're going to see on ladder?
Dude, I mean, today it felt like it, because today, genuinely, I have played...
Well, that's new card syndrome, right?
That fair enough, but still, I don't know. Power level-wise, I don't see a deck that rivals it. Like,
what about Snake Eye when it first, like, dropped? That was, like, tier 0, right? What was relevant alongside Snake Eye?
That's so long ago at this point. Snake Eye format was so long.
It is, isn't it? I feel like it wasn't tier, like, 0. I felt like there was other decks. I just don't remember what they were.
I mean, they're okay. If that is the bar, then no, it's not tier 0, because there are going to be other decks that you can play. Just based on the fact, like literally, how long have you played Malice today?
Played one game, literally a single
one game. Okay, so I've played for 5 hours, and the amount of times I've gotten Lancead is insane. Like, people are going to extreme, like, I guess that was something I wasn't sure about what was going to happen. Was I didn't know how popular that stuff was going to be, because it's best of 1. But like, people are going crazy about countering Malice. Like, I literally played against so many Lanceas today. It's absurd. Like, and that was the least amount of fun I had with Malice. I genuinely had some pretty good games when I was comboing and like even playing into boards going second or whatever. Like, I had some pretty enjoyable games, but it was all ruined because after like 2 hours of stream, suddenly everyone was starting to throw Lanceas at me, and it was just miserable. It's like that time when Tenpai was a thing and people started main decking Deep Barrier and Solemn Judgment and all that.
What rank are you? Are you in Master?
Not yet, because they just reset the thingy on the first. Like, I'm still in.
Yeah, so I was Master last season, so I'm in Diamond.
Yeah,
and I thought,
me too.
like, okay, maybe all the sweats are like in Master, right? So I'll play. So today, my first deck that I played Swordsoul, because I was trying to play the new Soraya card.
Yeah.
And I played 5 total games. It was 3 out of 5 Malice.
Yeah. No,
it's even in Diamonds.
I think all day today for me, literally probably 0 exceptions, it was all Malice or anti-Malice. And by anti-Malice, I mean, like, people were queuing the good stuff when there's like a best deck in the format, like Tenpai and Kashtira and Stun. Like, that's the thing that people go to when, like, look, today, not all of this happened on stream, because I also played a couple of games just before we podcasted. But like, today I've gotten Lancead countless times. I've been Chaos Huntered. I've been Imperial Ironwalled. I've been Power Filtered. And I've been Soul Drained.
What's Power Filter?
Neither player can summon monsters with less than 1,000 attack.
Oh, that's old school, right?
It's also not even good against Malice. I beat that player, but like, it was meant to be at Malice.
Oh, it's like, yeah, they're just playing like the 8th best Floodgate. Like, they just want something to.
No, but I got Soul Drained, dude. I got Soul Drained by a 60 card deck. It's crazy. Like, the state that Master Duel is in right now, because of how powerful Malice is perceived, you know, not even like is, but like how strong people think it is, and how popular people think it will be. Like, bro, I can't believe people are main decking Lanceas. I can't wait for every single one of my Called by the Graves to get Lancead. Even when I'm playing a deck that's like not even Malice, like when I'm because there's gonna be the point where I'm gonna be sick of it. There's gonna be the point where I get Lancead and I'm like, yeah, that's it. I'm switching. And then the literal next game, I'm probably activating Called by the Grave and I get Lancead on it anyways.
That's like the funniest thing I saw today was like, hand traps were being protected against Call by Crossout with Lancia. Like,
yeah, don't you love it when there's a new challenger for the minigame? When you thought the minigame couldn't get any better, Lancia enters the format.
It's so funny because it wasn't even a Malice game. It was just like this Lancia just came up. Like, it's just, I'm just gonna protect my Maxx C. I'm gonna push it through.
Dude. Oh man.
So I don't know, man. It's when I say like tier 0, I think like this is like tier limit level of insane, just because of, I mean, it's not better than tier limit, but I think what makes it really ridiculous is it's best of 1.
Yeah.
so like Malice like suffers really hard game 2 and 3, but you just that isn't the case in Master Duel. So what do you do? Like you just end up in this miserable scenario where people are literally main decking Lancia.
Yeah.
And also, I saw you play against Cashtira. What's that about? Like, Cashtira is good against Malice? Is it?
No, it's not.
Like,
I have no idea. It's just stun brains. Yeah. I don't know. They made a Rysard and I had all engine and I just beat it. I have no idea what's going on there.
Stun brain. Well, it's like some old guy picking up Old Faithful and just dusted off in a Rysard.
They like log into the game, they look at the pack, they see no pre-hits, they see like you need 13 URs from Malice, they're like, oh well, time to queue the Rysard.
Yeah, no, it's actually, so ultra rares aside, I mean, it's not like surprising, I guess, per se. Like, I think they've done this consistently. Like, when was the last time we got like a cheap new deck?
Well, not like a really good one, I don't think. I can't even remember the last time a good meta relevant, like super meta relevant deck was cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, was Blue Eyes expensive? Like without the Primite?
It was a structure deck, wasn't it?
Well, in the TCG.
Like, no, in Master Duel.
It was a structure?
Did they remake the structure or something?
I think it was just a pack. But it doesn't have that many ultras anyways. It's like Maiden is an ultra? And what else?
Yeah. Sage. So I think there's a Blue Eye structure, but then you just had to get like some of the new cards.
Okay, maybe it's that. Maybe there was a Blue Eye structure and you just had to get like Maiden from a pack or something. But I feel like Blue Eyes before Primite wasn't that expensive, which is crazy. You would think they would cash in on that with all the like nostalgia bait, but yeah. No, I don't know. I just feel like we are at a point where almost every new deck is going to have a good amount or high amount of ultras, because I just felt like in the beginning when Master Duel came out, they did it differently because they were expecting everyone to like build up a collection of staples and stuff like that. And now you're at the point where everyone who has had a Master Duel account for a while has all the staples. So in order to get people to spend money, you need to make them a good amount of ultras. Otherwise, you would just be getting all of this free to play.
Yeah, because when Master Duel first came out, like Tri Brigade was really cheap. It was like the best deck at the time. But you still needed some sort of investment unless you wanted to grind more, because you had to craft for the first time ever Maxx C.
Like for your first Master Duel deck, you still had to craft like, I don't know, 15, 20 ultras because all the like Imperm Ash Maxx C called by. And now you don't have to do that anymore if you're building a new deck, so they make it more expensive for the archetype.
It makes sense, I guess.
It doesn't feel good anyways. Like that's just presenting you with the reason doesn't make it feel better, I guess. But like it's
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Crystron wasn't that bad.
Yeah, maybe they didn't think Crystron was going to be that good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Salvador is a super. That's a 3 of.
Yeah.
The 3 ofs are like, what? The spell?
Well, Inclusion and Eliskelettus are ultras, so that's still 5 ultras.
Yeah, plus your Tristaros is an ultra.
Oh yeah, so that's 8. That's not few.
Yeah,
that's almost all the new cards.
Well, that's the thing though. There's always like it's a small amount of new cards compared to Malice or like something. Well, I don't know. It feels like archetypes are smaller these days. Like it's always like you play like 4 like main deck guys typically, and then there's like maybe like a spell or an extender or some sort of.
I mean, a lot of these older archetypes, they just have a lot more cards because a lot of them are just bad and outdated. Like when they make legacy support, it's more like you don't play all of the old Crystron cards because a lot of them are not very good.
So yeah, I don't know. I can't wait to learn it. It feels like a nice little like hobby almost. Like I'm gonna learn and get my teeth into like this little solitaire fun of Malice, and then
I mean, I am excited for a change in Master Duel in general, because it just feels like it's been Snake Eye for so long that I don't even mind getting a new top tier deck, even if it's not my favorite. And I did think legitimately for the first half of my stream today, I was like, okay, like some games, you know, I got Maxied and I lost because of it, or lost a hand trap mini game and I was whatever. But like for the most part, I was having a good time because I felt like, you know, I was doing I was getting better at the deck, and you know there was a learning curve and there was a decent amount of good games. It's just when the Lancia started happening is when I felt miserable about it. That was like even my biggest issue with it. Like that was there was a decent chunk of games where I just couldn't do anything, and that was frustrating.
Yep, I had a miserable game before I jumped on, actually, which is, I think, like, all related to do with minigame stuff. Like,
Yep.
I think, how did it go? Like, I ashed my opponent, he chained call by, so I chained Maxx C, he chained cross out, and then he played, I impulse something, he passes on, like, one card, I now have 2 cards in hand, I normal summon Dormouse, he Maxx C's, and I ash. And I'm just like, and then he scoops. And it's like, we didn't play a game. We were just trading staples. Like, I think staples are too impactful in the game. Like, it just feels like, especially with a deck like Malice, because you need to stop every card, basically. It's not like...
it's a cycle, right? It's like the hand traps are so important because the archetypes are so strong. It's like negating a hand trap is only so bad because what they're trying to do is so crazy. So it's kind of like it's like a vicious cycle of each other. I don't know how to better explain it. It's like
it's the one card combo issue over and over again. So yeah, yes or no? Do you think that's it? Like tier 0? Is this like the ladder deck, or what do you think? Like, what
for me, it is not the ladder deck. No, I think if there is ever a world where this is the ladder deck, then everyone is going to play Lancea, and then you're just going to be better off playing a deck, or I'm going to be better off playing a deck that isn't Malice, because there's like that's the thing with Malice. There's enough silver bullets to not have to play Malice. Like you can just play any deck and have a solid win rate against Malice if your deck is strong enough and you play like Lanceas and Maxis. It's kind of like the Tenpai paradox, where if Tenpai is the best deck in the game, you are not forced to play Tenpai, because you can just play anything that's just really strong going first and slap 3D barriers in it and you are fine against Tenpai. Like you were never forced to play Tenpai. It was miserable to play against Tenpai, but it was never at the point where you had to play Tenpai or you couldn't win.
I think the weird thing is, like, it does feel like Tenpai almost, because the silver bullets against Malice are so prolific that it's like you as a Malice player, you don't want Malice to be the best deck.
Yeah. Basically, I feel like Raidraptor coming out would almost be good for Malice players, because then people would probably stop playing Lancea.
Do you think Raidraptor is even good enough to beat this version of Malice?
I think so.
Really? Even with like Apo and Link Decoder?
Well, I mean, going second, not consistently, but like at worst, you're going to have a 50-50, because when Raidraptor goes first, it cooks Malice.
Yeah.
And there's no hand traps in the game that prevent Detonator from happening. Like you even if you Fuva them, you get like a card or two and they still make Detonator.
It would be so interesting to see how this played out if both decks were legal at the same time. But
I think I would enjoy it more, not only because I like Raidraptor, but also because even if I played Malice and learned Malice, I wouldn't be getting Lancea all the freaking time.
But it's like, from their perspective, what did they do, right? Because this does make sense, right? If you space them out, then, you know, you don't sort of, what's the word, kind of overburden people with like millions of gems that they would have to spend.
Dude. Raidraptor next month. Only super rares node.
Literally, yeah, node is gonna be like the super rare.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think it wouldn't be.
Do you want to make a prediction? I honestly think field spell and nodes. That's it. Everything else ultra. Detonator, duo drive, all the 3 of main guys, all ultra. That's a reasonable prediction.
I mean, it'd be the same amount of crafts as Malice. Like you craft 9 main deck ultras and 2 detonator, 2 duo drive. It's the same amount. It's 13.
Yeah. Do you think is Eclipse in the game? Eclipse isn't in the game right now.
Eclipse is not in the game, though.
Yeah, that might be a super. That's it. That's my prediction.
Plasma, you get Plasma Hole as a rare. That's all we can do.
To be fair, all of the Malice traps are all low rare. There is no. I wanted a holo. I wanted to make a royal of one of them, but
I genuinely sometimes think for a lot of cards it's worse if they're rares than super rares, because super rares you can at least make royals. Like it'd be like when you're opening, like I don't know, I spent 20,000 gems on the Malice pack, and I still had to craft some Malice cards, but at that point it doesn't matter if it's a rare or a super rare. I have it anyways. Like it would have been nicer if it was a super rare. So if you can royal it if you want to. But
I can't believe we're talking about this already, but I guess it kind of makes sense with like TCG coming up soon. But like, how are they gonna hit Malice and Master Duel? Because like
brother,
it's an
it's
interesting.
been 12 hours.
It's been, brother in Christ. I'm already sick of this. It's been 12 hours. I've had enough. But it's like it's an interesting discussion for me because I just think the rarity thing is like really relevant, right? Because they just don't hit ultra rares. Like when was the last ultra rare they hit? Like Tenpai?
Yeah, Tenpai they kind of had to because they kind of did the same thing. They made all the relevant cards ultras. I think it's the same with Malice. I think they are in a situation where, I mean, and God forbid they do something good and hit some of the generic extra deck stuff. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Like they could do that.
Gosh, I mean, this deck is so good and fine without Apollousa. I can't believe they haven't hit Apollousa. What was the theory again? It's an alt art in
That's
Master
the
Duel?
only
That's why
thing
they're
now
not-
at this point. That's the only thing that the Apple believers are holding on to because it's banned in TCG, it's banned in OCG now. The only argument that's left for why they might not do it in Master Duel is that it's an alt art. But if that's the reasoning, then it's not looking good for the health of Master Duel. Because if you think about it, like they're gonna design archetypes from now on in the OCG without Apollousa in mind. So like there might be decks in the future that could make a super early Apo and still combo like crazy after, but it's not a problem for the OCG card designers because they're designing for formats without Apollousa, and then these decks are gonna hit Master Duel and go completely crazy.
Well, I think it's gonna happen eventually.
I think so too. I think it's cope. I think the alt art thingy is cope. As much as it sucks for people that have like wailed to get an alt art Apo, for the health of the game, like that thing just needs to go. It's insane.
All right. Other than that, what else do we have? Like yeah, I don't know. Like I talked about it earlier. I messed around with Swordsoul a little bit.
Battle Wasps.
Yeah, like that deck. Okay, let's go one at a time. So Swordsoul, it's not really Swordsoul. Like you can play this stuff in Swordsoul. It does genuinely feel like this was designed for Tenyi. Like you should really be playing this stuff with Tenyi. So Sarai is a new like tuner extender for worms that special summons, and then when it goes to the graveyard, you can special any Tenyi link from the extra deck, which is insane, by the way. Like you could just summon Shahasrara or Berserker to turn on your thing. And you can also synchro into the big level 8 synchro boss monster that searches Tenyi Infinity. It's a field spell that just searches Vessel or Heavenly Dragon Circle.
I like that card.
Vessel is crazy. It's Foolish and Rota, which is...
I like Tenyi Infinity because it gives you flawless perfection of the Tenyi, and that's a field spell that draws cards. I like those.
Yeah, so you can tag your field spells, basically, with Tenyi. So there isn't really much room for Swordsoul synergy other than, like, their worms. Like, they're good normal summons. But, like, it's really weird because it feels like, to me, like, when I have Swordsoul cards in my hand, it's like, damn, I wish I had more Tenyis. But when I have a lot of Tenyis in my hand, I'm like, I wish I just had, like, a good Swordsoul starter.
And if you have both, you're like, I wish I had Malice cards.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's a good cards, but it's just like, you know, it's not Dormouse.
It's not Dormouse. Sorry, I can't be Dormouse.
Sorry, I'm not her.
I would argue the new Tenyi support is pretty cool and pretty healthy for the game, which is why it's not playable.
Exactly. That's the problem.
We need more of those archetypes. We need more of those archetypes and less of Malice, I would argue.
Yeah. Battle Wasp stuff is like not bad. It's just like it's a combo pile deck that isn't as good as other combo decks. That's kind of the issue.
Which is kind of the fate of a lot of decks these days. I actually forgot what the Battle Wasps do because I read them eventually, like at some point, but I just forgot. And it's just never been relevant anywhere, so I don't have a reason to assume it's going to be relevant in Master Duel. I just feel like they picked some filler archetypes that were very unlikely to attract people to buy a pack and just threw them in with Malice because people are going to open that pack anyways. Unfortunately. Wait, my chat today had a couple of people who were excited for the Battle Wasp. So if you are excited about Battle Wasp, don't let my words discourage you from trying it. If you have fun with the deck, then by all means go ahead and play it. Maybe it's good. I haven't tried it.
No, I really do want to try it sometime. Because I think a lot of the cards are actually low rarity. I did pull the Synchro guy like 4 times, which was annoying.
I
but
pulled
you only need
5
one of them.
Rebellion.
He's a Malice, by the way. It's a level 12 Synchro that when it's banished, it specials itself. It's a freaking Malice. You trigger it with Armor Horn.
Is it a Cybers?
No, it's an insect. You link it off for something. Like maybe like Pika Felina or Armor Horn, and then you just bring it back by banishing it with Beargram. It's like Insect Pile is like a Cybers deck. It searches Maxx C. Like
dude, they made the new Maxx C Counter. Did you read that?
Well, Maxx C Counter.
There's an insect in this pack that says like when an insect effect is activated, you can special this from your hand and negate the effect.
What the heck?
But it locks you into insects from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, so you can't play it in any deck. But it does negate Maxx C.
That's hilarious. Well, I guess you could play it. Is it an extender? Like, or
I think it's like hold up, let me read it before I yap. I know it negates Maxx C, but I don't know the specifics. I'm opening Master Duel. I'm checking it right now. But it's like it's basically a Maxx C negate that's only playable in insect decks. But I don't know if it's good if you don't get Maxx C. That's what I'm trying to find out. Because then, that would legitimately be a reason to play like Insect Link over another combo pile, because then it just has more outs to Maxx C. Okay, hold up. So the card is called this one. It is Supply Soldier of the Indestructible Insect. So it's a level 5 Earth Insect. When an insect monster's effect is activated, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then, if you activated this effect in response to your opponent's effect activation, negate that effect. Also, until the end of your next turn, after this effect resolves, you cannot special from the extra deck except insect monsters. And then, during your main phase, you can fusion summon an insect fusion from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field.
The heck is this, like, fusion effect for?
Well, I don't know what... dude, I'm not... There's an insect card that's related to it. It's Heavy Cavalry of the Indestructible Insects. It's also a super rare in this set. And it's an insect fusion, needs 1 level 5 or higher insect plus an insect, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If all face-up monsters you control are insects, you can target 2 monsters on the field, including an insect monster you control, banish them. You can only use this effect once per turn. Yeah, so it's SP Little Insect.
SP Little Mosquito.
No, that card, that insect card I just read, the main deck one, is like a legitimate reason to play an insect combo pile because you just have more outs to Maxx C in Master Duel. Like, that's not bad. So I guess it's just a matter of, is the rest of the deck's stuff like playable?
Yeah, oh, yeah. I get it. I think so. Like, there's like, we all know like Residence Insect and Pika Felina. Like, those are just really good like generic extra deck, generic insect like swap cards basically. Like they just facilitate like cyber style special summons.
Because Resonance Insect is the one that's like a not once per turn search when it's sent to grave, right?
Yep.
That's cool.
And I'm trying to remember how you search Maxx C, because you do it really consistently. You
Retaliating
basically,
C probably, right?
Yeah, so like you just like dump Goki Pole, and then Goki Pole searches Retaliating, and then you like summon the Retaliating from hand with your like an extra insect normal summon, and then you just link it off and you search Maxx C. Like you can consistently search Maxx C in this deck.
When you go first.
Yeah. Like, it's a shame that like Retaliating C isn't good. Because that's
I was about to say, if there's ever a format where Retaliating C is just a good hand trap, then you might be cooking with a deck like that. Yeah. Because Retaliating, I'm sure, can also just search you like starters and stuff in that deck.
No, doesn't it just search C?
No, it searches Earth insects with like 5,000 or less or something. It's like it's Earth insects it searches.
I'm trying to think of like the best Earth insect normal summon. I think it might just be Retaliating or Resonance. And you just link them away. I feel like do they have is there just an Earth insect normal summon? Is there a Dormouse, for instance? See, it used to be
the
circular.
Snake Eye insect?
It used to be circular for you. Now it's Dormouse. Like, we're looking for Dormouse for X archetype, But yeah,
please no.
It's Macedo is. We'll report back in a week.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
do some.
if anything, it's exciting times. We can call it that. Whether you're happy or not happy about it, everyone's excited in some way or another.
We'll report back next week because everything. It doesn't matter how good or bad it is. Like Snake Eye was exciting for the first like few days, you know, and then after a while it was like, huh, that was
one Snake Eye Ash does create a lot of card
advantage. All right. Well, I think that's enough for us tonight. Let us know in the comments if you've been playing Malice and if you've been. I'm curious, like how the F2P players feel, because you knew that this was coming for a while, probably.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what have you guys been doing? Have you waited for this deck for a while? Have you been stocking up on the gems? Because
I mean, there's no way anyone spent gems on the last pack. Come on. Like, if you're an F2P player, always careful with your gems. Like, there's no way you bought the last pack, right?
Okay, but Glow Up Bulb is good in tier limit. Did you consider that?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I played it. It never matters.
You could make a Synchro 8 with the Kashtira.
Okay.
Because it's I don't know why, but there is a cap in Macedo for free-to-play gems. You can't go over 10k.
Oh, I went over 10k when I bought them this morning. They had no issue with that.
Yeah, but you physically can't go over 10k if you don't buy them. So free gems is capped. And I'm curious, like what free-to-play players are doing, because like 10k gems it's very real. That's not enough.
It's it's probably enough if you craft what you're missing.
But the thing is, you're gonna have to dismantle ultras you don't pull. So if you don't pull good enough, there's a world where you're screwed. And
you can get unlucky with 10k gems. Yeah, that's true.
I think I spent about 12 today, and you know, like the 0 ultra like error message that comes up. I got that twice. I got like a 0 into a 1 ultra into a 0 into like a 2.
Dude, do you know when I got that message today? I got it multiple times, but do you know when I got it?
First time, I guess.
No, on my last 10.
What do you mean last 10? Like the last remaining gems?
Yes.
Oh, so now you have to wait. So now they're okay, but now you just have to go again. Because
I did, dude. Of course I did, but it's annoying.
you gotta end on a hollow. Yeah, no, they literally incentivize you to like go again because it's free. Think about it. Your next 10 packs has a free ultra if you look at it that way. So it just makes sense.
Don't look at it that way, guys.
Yeah, do not do that. This is not a financial podcast. This is not a ethics or.
What happens if you reach the cap of 9,999? Do the remaining gems, is it like Duel Links where they go to your gift box and then they expire at some point?
Yeah.
So the limit is not technically 10k because you can stock up some in your gift box for a limited amount of time.
Yeah, I think the gift box is also quite a low limit. It's a couple thousand, but it's not like a lot.
The gift box is not. I don't think the gift box has a limit in terms of how much stuff can be in there. It's just for how long.
I feel like there is a cap
because I have thousands of like normal and rare CP in there.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they expire after a month. Is the thing with those?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, the problem would be like is the expiry, because then you're just forced to like open packs you don't.
You are forced to open packs eventually, unless you want your gems to go to waste, I guess. But like if you're keeping track of that as a free to play player, I think you can stock up like more than 10,000. So like realistically, I think free to play players, if they skipped on the last pack completely and have been saving gems accordingly, they probably could build Malice. But then the problem is if Ryzeal happens next month, there's no way you're able to stock up enough gems again for Ryzeal. So I guess maybe that is why a lot of people in my chat today were asking me how good Malice actually is. Because a lot of people were like, hey, how is Malice? Is it good? And I'm like, of course it's good. But I think people were more asking like, how well is it going to hold up to future stuff? Because right now, of course, it's the best deck in the game, right? There's not like, everything else is like super... either just normal archetype, like fair archetypes, or super neutered by the ban list. So of course Malice is going to be the best. But what happens once we get Malice, and then also, you know, after Malice, there's also some pretty big stuff waiting in the wings, right? Like we're talking eventually Mitsurugi, the Justice Hunter stuff, you know, like you know, there's some pretty good stuff left throughout the end of the year. So I
It's
think that's
interesting to see when we'll get it, because
yeah,
they gave us Punk, and that's just not available in EU yet.
yeah.
So they could just, I don't know, drop a whole Isu at sometime
Yeah,
when they
that's
want.
the somewhat exciting part about Master Duel, right? You never know. They kind of do whatever they want with the release schedule. So you know you're usually behind on release schedule, but you never know what exactly is going to happen. Like next month could be Raidraptor, next month could be Mitsurugi, next month could be freaking K9 ahead of schedule or something. Who knows? Like it's
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in today. Happy struggle in Wonderland. Hopefully you haven't been struggling with your Ultraverse too much.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll be back next week with, I don't know, maybe a recap of the format, I suppose.
And let me know how often you've been Lanciad in the comments, please, on the first day of playing Malice. Let me know how often the Lanciad has been dropped on you.
I think Lance is gonna be quite common. Let me know if you've been Chaos Huntered yet. That'll be a spicy one. That's deep in the in the Malice hate.
They're desperate if they do that.
Yeah. All right.
All
Peace
right.
out, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.